this episode of Adventures of an Old Seadog, I find myself under a waterfall. I hang out with a gorilla in a rocking chair, do some engine checks,
check the water,
get myself a lot of air.
yes.
Get my friend Paul to help me put this on the boat. Yes, Shaddy gets a new anchor. You'll recognize some of this stuff on the deck. There's the old anchor windlass, selling that one. And these two, the Topper Hopper Hatsu and his mate the Yamaha. Two old engines, I don't need those anymore. They're up for sale. They're on the deck, waiting to come off the boat for the last time. Of the two new engines I've got, the new Yamaha weighs quite a lot. Much more than any other engine I've ever had on the boat. So rigging up an engine hoist, that's going to make it a lot easier and safer getting the engine on and off the dinghy. Had some work to do in the bilges, so it was important really to make sure that I had a bit of protection.
Maximum security. I just had one split on me. You don't like your rubber splitting on you, do you? That could be bad. There you go. Double bagged.
Had some new toilet hose to install. It was a little job I should have done before, but time to get to it now.
There was a leakage. I think it's a mixture of salt water and holding tank water. And it flooded into the bilges on the port-hand side of the boat and ruined an awful lot of food and provisions, which I'm now having to take out. And the boat's basically full of so I'm not a happy guy. I gotta say, it's been one of those days where it just hasn't gone right, and you know, sailing and stuff is not all. Look, that's my favourite hobby, is covered in urine. I tell you what, it's a good reason, boys and girls, not to have holding tanks in your boat. Poop and stuff does not belong in a boat. Period.
Right, so been spending money. Going to replace the main changeover valve in the heads. So this doohickey here, I don't even know how much it costs. The thing is, I need one of these. It's got to be done, and it doesn't matter about the cost. Well, it does matter obviously, but the cost is the cost. I know that the company here, All Marine, are competitive, so I just order the stuff and I close my eyes at the end of the month and pay for it. Just to say that not all yachting and sailing is all laugh and fun and sunshine and bikinis and blue skies. A lot of it is like this. It's more serious stuff, making sure the boat's right and spending an awful lot of money on things that need to get done. Jobs like this are worthwhile doing. Once it was done, it definitely improved the situation in the heads. Time to take a break from work. It was a beautiful day and I'd been told about this place. Basically, it's an art centre built into an old quarry. I found this fascinating. I spent a couple of hours just wandering around, looking at everything.
Hobbit style.
Yeah.
It's a new building. Definitely a new building.
Okie dokie. I want a pizza from this oven.
That's freaky, waking up in here in the morning.
There was even a mini waterfall there.
Being a hot day, I just couldn't resist a slurp of cool mountain water.
Bring an empty bottle next time, fill it here. That's your front door right there. Look at it, super. There's more to come. That's the neighbours. This is the I like the chicken wire. Stop the dog falling out. This needs no explanation.
Time to help a neighbour. A guy that's got a boat down from me had his car broken into, and unfortunately left his wallet in there, which wasn't a good idea, but there you go. The thieves went off down the walk down here and were seen throwing all his cards and bits and pieces from his wallet into the water. So I agreed to take the poor fella out on my boat at low tide, and we actually did manage to find and recover quite a bit of his personal property.
What's that white that's just there? Your car. Is that a shower or something?
Time for you guys to come out of hibernation, maybe do some work, who knows?
In preparing the boat for sea, I decided it was time to put my main sheets back on my double sheet system, back onto the boom. I'd had them in storage under the bimini for a while, but thought now's as good a time as any to put them back. The Marina band can be heard practicing up on the dock, but I wasn't needed for this particular session, so putting the time to good use, getting some work done.
And it's the end of the road for the Topper Hopper Hatsu.
After advertising in the local press, I got quite a few people interested. Even though I put these two down as non-running, the Top Hopper Hatsu and the old Yamaha had been sold. It was time to take the old thing off the boat. The deal was both engines for 2 boxes of beer. So I got them all ready.
Good riddance.
But then there was a problem when I was showing them to the guy. This happened.
But then I pulled through the Topper Hatsu, and guess what happened? Oil just spewed out of the bottom. So that cost me a case of beer. Thank you, Topper Hopper Hatsu. To the last, a piece of shit.
So only 1 box of beer.
So at last I got that piece of crap Topper Hopper Hatsu engine off my boat. I turned it into a case of beer. Not a bad deal, I think. Pulling the bow in to do some work on the anchor.
There were a couple of things on this job. I brought the bow in closer to the dock to pull the chain off the boat. The reason I wanted to do that was I wanted to measure it, and I also wanted to put markers on there so I know how many meters I'm dropping off the end of the boat. I basically marked the chain up every 5 meters for the first few, and then every 10 meters after that. I ended up with 75 meters, which is slightly more than I thought. 75 meters of chain.
It's a 10-meter mark here.
And after that part of the job was done, I had to pull the chain back on board again. And yes, I did use the windlass, but I actually quite enjoyed doing it by hand part of the way. To be honest with you, I needed the exercise. And then this was delivered.
That's big.
You there?
That has to go on there.
Yeah, it's like all electric windlasses.
Yeah.
They're not really designed for manual use.
So that's not clicking a bit.
The anchor is a Manson, oversized at 27 kilos, but that's what I wanted for the boat. Manson anchor was on the boat originally when I bought her. They're good anchors, so I decided I'd want another one. I wasn't sponsored for this, by the way. They are good anchors. This was paid for by my patrons. Thank you so much. Time for a mini road trip. Quite a few people have been asking to see more of New Zealand. It is a beautiful country. So going to show you a few clips of what it's like here. On a little road trip in a quaint little town at the moment. Beautiful little buildings behind, just stopped for a little rest. This, as I'm expecting it to be, is turning out to be a beautiful, beautiful trip. I was thinking about buying a new scuba tank for the boat. I'm short one at the moment. Maybe see how much the guy wants for this one. There again, with this I'd only need actually probably one scuba tank. Yes! It's steel as well. Just looking at the boats down here, I think this one's probably owned by a gynecologist. Then it was time to get back on the road. Doing waterfalls this afternoon, thought we'd take a look at another one, and thought the first was pretty spectacular, but this beats it by a mile. Got some boaty bits just to keep me happy. I like to treat myself occasionally. These are accessories for the outboard engine. An extendable sticky thing so I can stand up and do reckless things in the boat. And also some little fins that fit on the leg to make it hydroplane quicker. That way you go faster and save fuel. Once I'd finished that job, Charlie the dog came round just to say hello. Quite a nice sunny morning this morning in the marina. But last night we had an awful lot of rain. And then my friend came round this morning and told me something I didn't know. There was something on the side of my boat, my kayak. And I hadn't noticed this morning it's not actually there. It's on the mud over there somewhere. Hello. I think it filled with water, got too heavy and fell off the side of the boat. So no harm done. At least she was still there, and it took just a few minutes to rescue her and tie her up onto Shaddy for safety. There's a friend of mine bringing his boat in. Typical day in the marina really, boats coming in and out, helping Mike with his boat. It was a tight squeeze and we didn't want to get any damage done. One can opener. 2 can openers. Some friends of mine carrying a sail and they're just trying to negotiate the corner. Oh dear. It's definitely comedy waiting to happen. Well, I've just dropped some stuff in the sea and it's just floated away from me. So I'm going to have to go and get that. I hit my head on something down below.
So it was funny to watch them having problems carry a sail up the gangplank. It's early morning, I've got lots to do, drinking a coffee. Meanwhile, next door neighbour's returning with his dog. It's like a routine here out here, isn't it? Dog, man, poo, walker. Hello, Charlie. Hello. What you doing? Got to fix this today. It's seized up. Part of my maintenance schedule is wait till everything's broken and then fix it. Plan on taking the boat out in a couple of weeks. That will be exciting. She hasn't moved for some time, so it's time we did some adventuring. Down in the depths of the boat today, time to do an oil change.
Got the rubber gloves and the most important tool, a hammer, ready. You never know.
Also had this doohickey. I'm going to use that hopefully to get the old filter off and put a new one on. But then I realised I haven't got enough oil, so to town it is. So I've used more than I thought. I thought I had enough to do a proper oil change on her, but I haven't, so I'm going to have to go and buy some oil from town. Use the old bicycle. Time to mount up on my trusty steed.
Going into town always provides a good excuse to come here. One of my favorite eateries. All kind of Middle Eastern stuff. Brings back memories of when I lived in Egypt many years ago.
All right, mission accomplished. Saddlebags off the bike and oil for the boat.
Okay, after lots of messing about, I think I'm finally ready. I was going to do this morning, now it's gone 12. Got the oil, and I've also got some empty containers there to put the old oil in. The capacity of the engine is just under 10 litres, so that should do the job.
All right, let's warm the engine up, get the oil nice and hot.
Check the water.
Put her into neutral and give her a few revs. That'll do.
Okay, that'll do. I never know just how much to run an engine to warm the oil up, just enough where it doesn't get too hot, but you can pump it out. I've got a self-contained pump back here. I don't know if you can see it. It's around about there somewhere. So that's going to make life a bit easier. All right, a few minutes later, 2 5-litre containers full of warm oil, and at the maximum this engine's supposed to take 9.5 litres, which is about what we've got, so that's good. There will be more, however, probably just in the system, clinging about various places, and of course in here, which is the oil filter. So I need to get that off now while it's warm. That's going to make a mess. That's actually come loose much easier than I thought it would. Okay, got to get the new one on. Oh, sweet. I'm going to try and get this thing just hand tight. I reckon that's going to be enough. But to get a good hoo-ha on it, a little tip, use one of these little, they're like plastic mats that are designed for stuff to not slip on tables. Yeah, I can definitely get it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, baby, I reckon that's going to do it. Yeah, it gives you a bit of extra grip, because that's quite a shiny surface, yeah.
All right, time to fill her up. Once again, a little bitch at mechanics and engineers. Look, you put that right there, so you can't get anything in to fill that. Pain in the ass. How do I get that monster in there? Okay. There should be 9.5 litres in there now. Exactly. Right. Dipstick time.
Gonna have to bear with me on this one. There's a festival every year in Whangarei. Went along and ended up sitting for an hour watching a gorilla with a woolly hat on sitting in a rocking chair. Don't ask me why, I just did. And then we had, oh goodness me, Martin, what are you doing? Then we had this. This is a barbecue, rather silly, raunchy barbecue. Everybody having a good time, being extremely silly and having a lot of fun, which is what cruisers like to do. And that's the cruising life. That's why I enjoy it so much. Everybody having a good time. Gotta end on a seafaring note. Decided to take the dinghy out and check out my new tiller extension. It worked well, a bit irresponsible standing up doing this, I know, but that's me. And I have got my kill cord attached, just in case you're wondering. It's around my wrist on my left there, you can just see it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Please subscribe and please press the notifications bell there. That way you'll get a message every time there's a new video and you'll never miss one.